Jaya Gopi Ganavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Sutara Śrimad Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Grantara Śrimad Bhagāvatam Ki Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Śrimadi Tamal Krishna Goswanti Namani. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Śrimadi Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Shunivati Paschata Desatari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Chaivam Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nastapayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna, good morning. Good to see all of you.
好高興見到大家。
So we're going to read from Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 15, The Pandavas Retired Timely, Text 50.
咁我哋繼續閱讀聖典《巴加談》第一篇創造第15章，潘達華兄弟及時隱退第50節。
Okay, so there's one more verse, but I think it'll be done the next class. Okay. Let's chant. Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Bhatinam anapekshatam.
Bhatinam anapekshatam.
Bhatinam anapekshatam.
Bhatinam anapekshatam.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Ekanta matir apatam.
Ekanta matir apatam.
Ekanta matir apatam.
Ekanta matir apatam.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Patinam anapekshatam.
Patinam anapekshatam.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Ekanta matirapatam.
Ekanta matir apatam.
Anyone wants to chant or?
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Draupadi cha tadajnaya.
Patinam anapekshatam.
Patinam anapekshatam.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Vasudeve Bhagavati.
Ekanta matir apatam.
Ekanta matirapatam. Draupadi.
Draupadi.
Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas.
Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas. Draupadi, Pandavas 的妻子。
Cha and
和
Tada. At that time.
在那時
Ajnaya.
Ajnaya.
Knowing Lord Krishna fully well.
清楚地了解主 Krishna.
Patinam of the husbands,
丈夫的
Anapekshatam who did not care for her,
不關心他
Vasudeva Krishna.
向主 Vasudeva Krishna
Bhagavati, the personality of Godhead.
人格守神
He exactly
確切的
Eka Anta absolutely
絕對的
Matihi concentration Apa got
得到
Tam him the Lord.
他至尊主
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands.
譯文 Draupadi 看到她的丈夫們沒有關照她就離開了家，她很了解主 Vasudeva 人格守神 Krishna。她和 Subhadra 兩人於是開始全神貫注地想念 Krishna， 最後獲得了與他們的丈夫同樣嘅成果。
Purport. When flying an airplane, one cannot take care of other planes. Everyone has to take care of his own plane, and if there's any danger, no other plane can help another in that condition. Similarly, at the end of life, when one has to go back home, back to Godhead, everyone has to take care of himself without help rendered by another. The help is, however, offered on the ground before flying in space. Similarly, the spiritual master, the father, the mother, the relatives, the husband, and others can all render help during one's lifetime, teaching one how to cross the ocean of birth and death. But while crossing the sea, one has to take care of himself and utilize instructions formerly received. Draupadi had 5 husbands, but none of them asked Draupadi to come with them. Draupadi had to take care of herself without waiting for her great husbands. And because she was already trained, she at once took to concentration upon the lotus feet of Lord Vasudeva, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. The wives also got the same result as their husbands in the same manner. That is to say, without changing their bodies, they reached the destination of Godhead. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur suggests that both Draupadi and Subhadra, although her name is not mentioned herein, got the same result. Neither of them had to quit the body.
要指人在駕駛一架飛機在空中飛行時，不可能再去照顧其他嘅飛機。每個人都必須照顧好自己的那架飛機。在空中遇到危險時，其他的飛機是幫不上忙的。同樣，在生命結束即將回歸家園，回到守神身邊時，每一個人都必須在沒有他人幫助的情況下照顧好自己。但是在飛機飛上天空之前，地勤人員會對飛機進行維修保養。同樣道理，靈性導師、父親、母親、親戚、丈夫和其他人，在平時都可以給我們以幫助。但當我們要跨越生死海洋時，我們必須運用以前接受過嘅教育，照顧好自己。Draupadi 雖然有5個丈夫，但他們中沒有一個人邀請他隨他們去。Draupadi 必須照顧他自己，而不是等待那些偉大丈夫嘅幫助。由於他已經接受到了訓練，他立刻開始把注意力完全集中在主 Vasudeva 人格守神 Krishna 嘅蓮花足上。 就這樣，他們這些作妻子的，也以同樣嘅方式獲得了他們嘅丈夫所得到嘅同樣嘅結果，即在沒有更換他們嘅軀體嘅情況下，回到了守神身邊。Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur提示說，儘管詩中沒有提到 Subhadra 嘅名字，但 Draupadi 和 Subhadra 兩人都得到了同樣嘅結果，他們都沒有更換他們的身體。
Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Samritamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Mukam Karati Vachalam Pangam Langete Gurum Yakripatamam Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madham Shri Chaitanya Iswaram Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Savodato Gododaya Pushpamanta Chitra Sandhutamam. So one more time we'll read the translation. Draupadi also saw that her husbands, without caring for her, were leaving home. She knew well about Lord Vasudeva Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Both she and Subhadra became absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and attained the same results as their husbands. 譯文 Draupadi 看到她嘅丈夫們沒有關照她就離開了家，她很了解住Vasudeva人格守神 Krishna。他和 Subhadra 兩人於是開始全神貫注地想念 Krishna， 最後獲得了與他們嘅丈夫同樣嘅成果。 So Srila Prabhupada starts the purport by saying that you have to fly your own airplane.
咁聖帕巴喺要旨嘅開始咧就話咧同我哋講，我哋要飛，我哋要駕駛我哋自己嘅飛機去飛行。
It means you have to endeavor to make connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
即係話咧，我哋要努力去從至尊人格守神咧建立呢一個嘅關係。
So at the time of death, you cannot expect someone else to come. It is possible, but in general, his point is you cannot, get someone else to push you to Godhead.
咁所以咧喺咁我哋要準備好啦，因為喺死亡嗰刻嘅時候咧，一般嚟講咧，唔會有人嚟幫你嚟到拉你翻去回歸神手嘅。所除咗一啲例外嘅即係一啲少數嘅例外。
Everyone who goes back to Godhead is fully qualified.
咁每一個回歸神手嘅人咧，都係咧完全咧係有呢個資格。
Whether they get the mercy from the spiritual master or from the Supreme Lord, they with the mercy they actually become qualified.
咁因為佢哋得到一係就係定證導師啦，另外咧就可以係或者得到 Krishna 嘅仁慈啦，所以佢哋咧就係有呢個資格。
Even if you don't have any qualification, you cannot go back to Godhead because someone is saying you can go back.
咁如果你冇呢個資格咧，你就冇可能咧就有個人同你講話，你可以回歸神手，你就可以翻到去，係唔得嘅。
You have to actually endeavor, work hard to please the Supreme Lord and His devotees, then you get the qualification.
咁所以我哋要好努力啦，好努力咁去取悅Krishna 啦，同埋佢嘅奉獻者，咁我哋先可以成功。
Generally, when you work hard in your sadhana practices and you do service nicely, automatically other devotees become favorable towards you, and so the Lord will bless you and you become qualified.
咁如果你係好認真咁去努力去做你嘅服務啦，同埋呢個收集嘅話咧，咁你身邊嘅奉獻者就會好開心啦，亦都會咧係對你係有利啦。於是咧佢哋就會幫你咧係回歸神手。
But if you think, oh, I have been initiated now and that's it, I don't have to do anything, I will go back to God, then yeah, maybe you will, but we don't know when.
咁如果你淨係諗住我已經啟迪咗啦，我乜都唔使做噶啦，我坐喺度就可以回歸神手噶啦。咁係嘅，你應該係可以嘅，不過唔知幾時。
So it is important to understand that we must become qualified before we all can go back to Godhead. 咁所以咧，我哋必須要明白一點就係咧，我哋要回歸神手之前咧，我哋必須要有呢個資格先可以。Even to go to a heavenly planet, you have to have some qualification.
就算你要去呢一個天堂星球咧，你都要有一定嘅資格。
There was once a king who wanted to go with his own body. So he approached different devotees to want to raise him to the heavenly planets.
咁咧有一次有個國王咧，佢就係想用佢現在擁有嘅身體咧去呢個天堂星球，於是佢就揾唔同嘅奉獻者咧去幫佢，用佢而家存在嘅身體咧係達到佢呢個嘅目的。
And so many of the sages who he approached said, you can't go with this body, you have to give up this body. And then you'll ascend.
咁咧就係好多聖人就同佢講啦，你冇可能咧用你而家呢個身體咧就去到天堂星球嘅，你必須要放棄呢個身體，你而家呢個身體你就可以去得到啦。
But he was too attached to his body.
咁但係咧，因為佢非常依附佢而家呢個身體。
So finally, I think his name was Trishanku. Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. But anyway, he finally approached Vishwamitra, the sage.
咁佢最後呢個國王咧就去揾呢個 Vishwamitra 呢個聖人。
And he said, I will raise you to the heavenly.
咁呢個聖人就同佢講啦，冇問題嘅，我可以咧帶你去到呢一個天堂星球嗰度。
And Vishwamitra, the sage, was very powerful rishi.
咁 Vishwamitra 呢個聖人咧係非常之有力量嘅一個嘅瑜伽師。
So by his chanting a mantra and sacrifice, he raised this king Trishanku to the heavenly planet.
咁於是咧，呢個聖人就開始念一啲曼陀啦，做啲祭祀啦，因為佢嘅力量係非常之有力量。於是呢個國王咧就真係咧係上升去到呢個天堂星球。
So when he came to the heavenly planets, Indra said, "You're not qualified to come." So he pushed him down.
咁但係當佢去到呢個天堂星球嘅時候咧，天帝 Indra 就同佢呢個國王講：你冇呢個資格嚟呢個天堂星球啊！於是佢就將佢拱翻落去。
So while he was coming down, he was calling out to Vishwamitra.
咁當呢個國王跌翻落去呢個地球嘅時候咧，佢就呼喚呢個聖人啦 ，Vishwamitra。
And Vishwamitra is very powerful, so he stopped him.
咁於是呢個聖人非常之有力量，於是佢見到呢個國王跌咗落嚟嘅時候咧，佢就停止制止咗佢繼續跌落嚟。
And then Indra said, "This guy is not qualified. You can't bring him with that material body up here in that condition." Yeah.
咁但係 Indra 就繼續講啦，天帝繼續講，呢個人咧唔得㗎，冇呢個資格嚟天堂星球，佢有呢個物質身體。
And Vishwamitra said, "I am making him there. How can you stop?"
咁但係 Vishwamitra 條氣好唔順啊，因為我明明將佢即係國王帶上天堂，我有呢個能力，點解你唔俾啊
？And then so Vishwamitra got angry. He gets easily angry.
咁咧，於是咧呢個聖人 Vishwamitra 就發嬲啦。
And so he said, "I will create another planetary system and put this king in the planetary system."
咁於是佢咧就話啦，我咧要創造另一個天堂星球出嚟，就將呢個國王等喺嗰度。
So he started creating another with his power. He's so powerful. He created another planetary system equal to Indra's. Yeah.
於是咧呢個聖人因為佢咁有力量，於是佢就開始喺度創造啦。結果咧就做咗另外一個天堂星球出嚟，係同 Indra 嗰個一樣嘅。
So anyway, the point is, Lord Brahma comes and says, "You can't do this because this guy he cannot go with this human material body."
咁結果咧就係主 Brahma 就出現啦，嚟到啦，就同呢個聖人講：唔得㗎，唔得㗎！呢個國王咧擁有呢個物質身體，佢唔可以去呢個天堂星球嘅。
So the point is, we cannot just expect someone to take us back to Godhead. Without ourselves having some qualification.
咁除非我哋係擁有呢個資格啦，即係我哋唔可以咧係期望有個人嚟到話就幫你咧去到呢一個你想去嘅目的地。
So here we see in this pastime, the king couldn't go to the heavenly planets in the same body.
咁就係頭先講嘅逍遙時光入邊咧，呢個國王咧冇辦法用佢現有嘅呢個物質身體咧去到呢個天堂星球。
But here we see and we read that both the Pandavas and Draupadi, they all went back in the same body.
咁但係喺呢度喺呢幾個詩詞咧，我哋就讀到咧就係Draupadi 啦，同埋佢嘅丈夫啦 Pandavas，佢哋咧都係用佢哋現有嘅身體咧就可以咧係回歸守神。
They could do that because they were all spiritually, they had spiritual body and they came here to have pastime with Lord Krishna.
咁點解佢哋會做得到呢？因為佢哋其實根本擁有靈性身體嘅，佢哋嚟到呢個地球咧、世界上咧，只係咧係幫助 Krishna 咧係上演佢嘅逍遙時光。
So our material body is actually what is holding us back from going back to Godhead.
咁其實我哋要知道咧，我哋嘅物質身體咧係阻止緊我哋咧係回歸神手。
It creates so much both happiness and unhappiness.
咁呢個物質身體咧帶俾我哋好多嘅快樂，亦都帶俾我好多嘅痛苦。
As we get older, we become less able to enjoy our senses.
當我哋年紀越嚟越大嘅時候咧，我哋咧係更加咧係去享受做呢個物質享受嘅呢一個嘅能力咧越嚟越少。
When we were younger, our senses were strong, and we could enjoy our senses very greatly.
咁當我哋年輕嘅時候咧，我哋嘅感官非常之強大啦，我哋就能夠好好咧喺度享受做呢個感官享樂。
But as we get older and older, our senses become increasingly weaker and dull.
咁但係當我哋年紀越嚟越大嘅時候咧，我哋嘅感官咧就會變得越嚟越弱啦，同埋咧係遲鈍。
Actually, getting old is the mercy of the Supreme Lord.
咁其實咧係衰老啦，係呢個至尊主俾我哋嘅一個仁慈。
Why? Because it allows us to understand that we are not the body.
因為咧，佢令到我哋明白咧，我哋唔係呢個身體。
But if we think we are the body, we die very unhappily and in a painful way.
如果我哋認同咗我哋係呢個身體咧，我哋就會好唔即係我哋當我哋離開呢個身體死亡嗰刻嘅時候，我哋就會好唔開心，亦都好痛苦。
This existence in this body is not our final position.
我哋存在喺呢個或者身體咧，並唔係我哋最後嘅呢一個嘅位置。
Mukti hitvan yatha rupam swarupena vyavastitihi means liberation is the permanent situation of the living entities after he gives up this material body.
咁即係話咧，當一個生物體去放棄咗呢個身體嘅時候咧，佢最後嘅目的地咧就係解脫。
This material body means both the gross and the subtle.
咁我哋話呢個物質身體咧，包括我哋粗糙同埋精微嘅身體。
So if we attach to this gross and subtle body, this is what gives us so much so many difficulties.
咁因為我哋咧太過依附我哋呢個物質身體啦，所以咧佢帶俾我哋好多好多嘅痛苦同埋困難。
As you get older, you want to walk fast, you'll fall down faster.
咁如果你年紀大咗啦，你想行快啲咧，你就會跌低。
Right? The other day we saw Krishna Baladev Prabhu. He was walking fast and he hit his head on some sign.
咁我哋之前 Krishna Baladev Prabhu 阿叔啦嚟過香港啊，咁佢因為行得太快，於是佢咧就個頭撞到啲廣告牌。
So we understand. Shiromani is laughing. We understand this body is like that. We cannot control it as we get older and older. Yeah.
咁我哋要明白，我哋嘅身體就係咁噶啦。當我哋越嚟越老嘅時候咧，我哋冇辦法控制我哋嘅身體。
Yeah. We want to always be young.
我哋咧成日都想咧保持年青。
Yeah. There was a saying. My mom used to tell me a story that there was a man who was very old and he wanted to get married to a younger lady.
咁咧，我媽媽同我講嗰個故事，就有個咧好年老嘅男人啦，佢就想娶一個好後生、好年輕嘅妻子。
So while walking, he wanted to show them that he's still young. So he jumped up to hit a leaf in the branch.
咁因為為咗要話俾人聽佢仲係年青啦，佢就當佢行嘅時候咧就跳起啊，所以用隻手咧係掂樹上面嘅嗰啲葉。
And then he fell down.
結果佢就跌咗落地。
And then he get up and then he act like nothing happened.
咁於是佢就即刻爬起身啦，就扮到好似咧冇事發生咁樣。
But he couldn't see that the body is getting old.
但係冇辦法咧接受係睇到咧個身體咧越嚟越衰老。
The enjoyment is still in the mind, so he thinks he can enjoy.
佢嘅心意咧仍然咧係有好多嘅，即係佢想去享受啊。
Yeah. So in our youth, we are supposed to learn how to control and overcome our desires.
咁當我年輕嘅時候咧，我就會學習咧點樣控制同埋咧克服我哋嘅慾望。
Yeah. And at the same time, when we are young, we are overcome by our desires.
咁但係咧同一時間，當我哋年輕嘅時候咧，我哋咧係被我哋嘅慾望咧所征服。
When we are young and it overcomes our desires, our consciousness is all covered.
咁當我哋嘅意識係被當呢個慾望征服咗我哋嘅時候咧，我哋嘅意識咧就會俾慾望所覆蓋住。
But as we get older, we are overwhelmed by our bodily problems.
咁但係當我哋年老嘅時候咧，我哋就被我哋嘅身體嘅需要咧係嚟到完全咧係沉浸咗喺嗰度。
So when you are among young people, you hear about let's go here, let's go there, let's enjoy this and so on.
咁當你同啲年青人喺埋一齊，你就會聽到佢講我哋要去呢度去嗰度，我哋去點樣去享受。
But when you are with the older people, they are saying, this is the medicine I'm taking now. This is the pain I have. 咁但係當你同啲年紀
大咗嘅朋友喺埋一齊嘅時候，佢就同佢講我而家就食緊呢啲藥啦，我咧邊度痛。
Yeah, one devotee was getting old was saying, I didn't know there was a pain in these places.
咁有個奉獻者佢就年紀越大啦，跟住佢就講啦我從來都冇發現原來我條頸咧係咁痛嘅。
Yeah, so this is what happens, you know.
呢個咧就係會發生緊嘅。
And still, unless we are Krishna conscious, we fail to see that although we are trying to enjoy, we are actually approaching death very quickly.
除非我哋係擁有呢個 Krishna 知覺啦，如果唔係咧，我哋冇話睇到咧個事實就係，就算我哋想去享受咧，其實咧我哋係越嚟越接近死亡。
So mostly as we get old, or in general, the people as they get old, they're always trying to fix their body in this way or that way, but they cannot avoid dying.
咁如果隨住年紀越嚟越大嘅時候咧，人就會去修理我哋嘅身體呢度啦嗰度啦，去盡量去修理佢。但係佢哋係亦都察覺唔到咧，其實死亡已經越嚟越接近。
So here we see the Pandavas, they also recognize that they are getting old also, and their time is up, and so they are preparing to meditate on Krishna and go back to God.
喺度咧 Pandavas 五兄弟亦都同樣地咧，去知道佢哋嘅身體佢哋嘅時間已經無多啦，於是咧佢哋咧放棄一切，完全咧係冥想住至尊主，準備好咧係離開。
So Draupadi could now see that, I mean, she's a pure devotee herself, but she could see now her husbands don't really worry about her anymore. They're not even calling her, come with us. They're just going. 咁喺呢度 Draupadi 雖然佢自己本身都係一個純粹嘅奉獻者，但係佢睇到咧，佢丈夫咧已經咧唔係再即係關心佢，甚至咧係冇叫佢咧係同佢哋一齊離開。 Yeah, they were protecting her so nicely, but now they ignored her.
佢哋之前咧係非常非常保護佢啦，但係而家呢一刻咧，佢哋咧已經係完全咧冇理到佢。
Yeah, so basically that if you're qualified, you can come with us.
咁基本上意思就係話咧，如果你有呢個資格咧，你可以同我哋一齊。
Yeah, so Prabhupada is telling us at the time of retirement, there's no more responsibility.
咁咧，聖爸爸話俾我聽啦，當我哋喺退休嘅嗰一刻嘅時候咧，我哋再冇任何嘅責任。
So you can see here, Prabhupada says, or rather in the verse it says, Patinam anapekshatam. So they are retiring from home, but they are no more interested in their wife.
咁喺個詩詞入邊咧就係講到啦，佢哋咧係由佢哋嘅屋企嗰度咧就離開啦，完全係放棄啦。但係佢哋咧對佢哋嘅妻子咧完全咧係冇呢個嘅關照。
Yudhishthira Maharaj is not turning to Arjuna or Bhima saying, who's going to take out Draupadi? He's not saying that.
Yudhishthira 王咧並冇向Arjuna 咧 Bhima 咧就詢問邊個會帶 Draupadi 走啊？冇，完全冇。
Srila Prabhupada says in one lecture, he says, when we are old, everyone should take care of themselves.
咁聖爸爸喺堂課入邊講過咧，就係當我哋年老嘅時候咧，我哋每一個人都要照顧自己。
Because when you die alone, you know.
因為當你要離開身體嘅時候咧，你係獨自咁樣咧係死去。
And that's why sometimes crazy people, they think if they die alone is not good, so they kill others suicide murder.
okay.
Yeah.
咁有啲人咧，有啲黐線嘅人咧，就會覺得啊，一個人死唔好嘅，於是咧佢就喺去自殺之前咧就殺咗其他人。
So in our devotional culture, we understand that once we are retired, everyone should take care of themselves, and because we are all going to go alone.
咁作為一個奉獻者咧，我哋要明白咧，當我哋退休嘅時候咧，我哋每個人都要有責任去照顧自己嘅，因為我哋知道咧，當我哋真係離開嘅時候咧，我哋每個人咧都係獨自咁樣離開。
And so for devotees, when we say we are retired, that means we have to do more service, more deity worship, more chanting, increase the rounds. When we do all that, then we can be assured that we become fearless.
咁作為一個奉獻者，當我哋退休嘅時候咧，即係意味住咧，我哋要做多啲嘅服務啦，譬如神像崇拜啦，念誦多啲圈數啦，讀書啦等等。
So here you can see anapekshatam. That means they without waiting for another person, they are alone, simply depending on Krishna.
咁咧佢呢度講咧就係佢哋咧並完全咧係淨係咧係依靠呢個至尊主 Krishna。
So the Pandavas were only depending on Krishna at this point. They were not worried about this situation or that situation.
喺呢一刻咧 ，Pandavas 佢哋咧淨係專注住喺至尊主，佢哋所有其他嘢咧都唔理啦。
Just like if you have a lot of things in your possession, in your life, at the time of death you'll be worried. Oh, what about this property? What about my house? What about my money?
咁所以你擁有好多嘅財富啊、資產啊等等咧，咁當你真係面對死亡嗰刻嘅時候咧，你心裏面就會好擔心啦。我呢間屋點算啊？我呢啲錢點算啊？
So Srila Prabhupada wants us to only think of Krishna. So that is renounced order of life, both for men and women.
咁聽法咧，淨係想我哋咧喺嗰刻咧，淨係要冥想住 Krishna。呢個咧就係真正嘅氣絕嘅生活。男士同埋女士咧都係一樣嘅。
Not that you tell your husband or wife, I'm retiring now, I'm going to the temple, you send me money so I can take care of myself. 咁並唔係話咧，個先生或者丈夫咧就同個丈夫或者妻子就同佢嘅伴侶講啦，我而家退休啦，我咧要去廟嗰度，你咧俾啲錢落。 Srila Prabhupada very strongly he says, no such dependence. You have to only depend on Krishna. 咁咧就聖巴寶好強調就係我哋唔可以有呢一個嘅依賴嘅心嘅，我哋必須咧只可以咧係冥想住 Krishna， 依賴 Krishna。So therefore, in the last verse, ekanta matir aphatam, that means just only focus on Krishna and depending on Krishna. 咁所以咧最尾個詩節最尾一句就即係話咧，我哋只係咧係全神貫注咁樣咧係想念住 Krishna， 淨係記住 Krishna。Actually, no one will be there when you are dying, right? 因為咧，當你死亡嗰刻嘅時候咧，冇人會喺你身邊。Your family members, your relatives, they will come there, but they will be hoping when you will die. 咁你嘅家人可能會喺你身邊，可能嚟睇你啦，但佢哋心入邊淨係諗，究竟你幾時死啊？ Because it's too much for them to see someone dying also. 因為咧，見到屋企人離世咧，實在咧係對你嚟講係太難過啦。Of course, Vaishnavas will be there to chant, take care of the last things, the rites, whatever you need. The Vaishnavas are always there. They will chant and pray for us. 咁當然啦，喺嗰刻嘅時候，奉獻者會喺你身邊啦，會同你做一啲儀式啦，會為你唱誦啦，帶你需要嘢俾你等等。And we cannot tell Krishna, you must take this devotee back to God. We can only say, Krishna, if you think they are qualified, please take them back. 我哋唔可以同即係喺身邊奉獻者唔可以同 Krishna 講話，你一定要帶佢走啊！一定要帶呢個奉獻者就唔可以嘅。咁我哋只可以話咧 ，Krishna， 如果你覺得呢個奉獻者係有呢個資格嘅，你就帶佢走啦。Generally, we pray, Krishna, if you think, if you feel they are qualified, please take them. Otherwise, please put them in a better situation where they can go back to God. 咁奉獻者就會向 Krishna 祈禱啦，就會同 Krishna 講如果你覺得呢個奉獻者係有呢個資格係可以嘅，你就帶去翻屋企啦。如果唔係嘅，就請你咧安排一個更加好嘅環境俾佢去繼續去收集。So now you can understand why we have to be training daily properly, because our final test is going to come, and then we should be able to give up the body without being attached to anything.
咁所以我哋點解睇到咧？就係點解我哋每一日咧都要正確、好認真去收集，因為咧我哋最後嘅呢個測試咧就會嚟到啦。咁我哋咧必須咧要能夠咧係當我哋放棄身體嗰一刻嘅時候咧係做得到。
Just like Parikshit Maharaj, he had 7 days, but he dedicated completely to worship of Krishna, remembrance of Krishna.
咁就好似 Parikshit Maharaj 佢剩翻7日嘅時間，佢將呢7日時間完全咁樣用於咧係冥想住 Krishna 啦，係聆聽呢個經典。
And if we have 7 days, what we will do?
咁你可以諗下，如果我剩翻7日嘅時間，你會做啲乜嘢咧
Will we just, go back on our bed and say, please chant for me while I'm preparing to die?
咁你冇可能話就話我而家準備死啦，你幫我念誦啊，唔得嘅。
Or we are saying, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, I need to do this, I need to do that.
咁或者你會話咧我有好多嘢，呢樣未做，嗰樣未做喎，我而家咧剩翻呢啲時間，我就要做呢樣做嗰樣。
Okay, so it's very important to understand what is the purpose of life so we can prepare.
咁所以我哋咧必須要明白究竟人生嘅目的係乜嘢，等我哋咧可能好好咁去準備。
If you read Bhagāvatam, so many personalities, not just the Pandavas here, so many different personalities in different cantos. You see how they also, when the time was ready, they gave up the home and they left.
咁喺聖典博迦壇有好多嘅例子，係唔單止 Pandavas 嘅。當呢個時間嚟到嘅時候咧，佢哋要離開呢個身體嘅時候咧，佢就咁起身放棄所有嘢就走咗。
Just like in the 4th canto, King Anga, he had a horrible son. But still, when the time was ready, he just left and went to the forest, meditated on the Lord. 就好似咧係第4篇入邊啦，聖典博迦壇 King 呢個 Anga 嘅王啦，佢有個好恐怖嘅兒子，但係佢當時間嚟到嘅時候咧，佢都唔理啦，佢就放棄一切咧，跟住就去咗森林嗰度。We also see how Kardama Muni also left Devahuti, and then he said, I'm going to meditate on the Lord, and he left. 咁咧Kardama Muni 一樣啦，係適當嘅時候咧，佢就同佢妻子 Devahuti 講：我而家咧要走啦，我就去森林嗰度冥想。 So if we worship Krishna nicely, then Krishna will take care of us, protect us. 咁如果我哋係好好咁樣為 Krishna 服務嘅話咧 ，Krishna 咧就會係。亦都會好好咁照顧我哋嚇。Pratiya tava govinda name bhakta pranashyati. Krishna says, I will declare Arjuna, I will protect my devotees. 咁咧 Krishna 同阿 Arjuna 講啦，我會保護我嘅奉獻者。He also says, Yogakshema vahami aham, that whatever you lack, I will provide. 咁 Krishna 亦都同阿 Arjuna 講咧，無論你缺少啲乜嘢咧，我都會提供俾你。So therefore, we don't have to depend on anyone, father, mother, son, daughter. We don't need to depend. 咁所以你唔需要依靠任何人，唔需要依靠你嘅丈夫啦、妻子啦、兒女啦、父母啦等等。We have to practice to learn to become more and more dependent on Krishna. 我哋咧要學習咧，越嚟越咧係依靠 Krishna. Therefore, ekanta Matil, one pointed focus. 咁即係話咧，呢個咧 ekanta kanti， 即係話咧，我哋係全神貫注於 Krishna 嗰度。We should know Krishna is in our hearts. 我哋咧要知道咧 ，Krishna 喺我哋心入邊。Right, Ishvara sarvabhutana riddesha arjuna tistati. He is in our hearts. Krishna 咧喺我哋嘅內心入邊。And so we shouldn't feel that we are all alone. 我哋咧唔應該感受啦，我哋係孤單嘅。Yeah. So here you can see again, they were very responsible, the Pandavas, when they were taking care of their kingdom and so on. Very responsible. 咁咧，我哋睇到咧 Pandavas 佢哋係一個非常有責任心嘅人啦，佢哋去照顧佢哋嘅國家啦等等。Yeah, but when the situation became bad, when the Kauravas started fighting with them, then they declared war. 咁但係當 Kauravas 係同佢哋即係個情況轉壞啦 ，Kauravas 要同佢係對佢哋好差嘅時候咧，佢哋決定咧就係同佢哋開戰。Prabhu says when they insulted Draupadi, they said they will kill all of them. 咁當 Prabhu 講過咧，就係當Kauravas 去羞辱呢個 Draupadi 嘅時候咧，Pandavas 佢哋就決定咧，我哋要殺晒佢哋。And similarly, Lord Ramachandra, he killed Ravana for kidnapping Sita.
咁同樣地咧，係主 Ramachandra 咧，因為 Ravana 咧係擄劫咗 Sita 啦，所以咧佢咧就殺死咗
So
Ravana。
generally, husband means they take care of the wife very nicely for the rest of the life.
咁一般嚟講，我哋話咧，丈夫係有責任咧，係好好咁照顧佢嘅妻子咧，係一生嘅。
But Prabhu said not like in the modern days. Husband married 3 months, divorce. But
但係呢樣嘢咧已經唔適用喺現今世代啦。咁好多人咧就結咗婚3個月咧，跟住個丈夫就話我要同你離婚。
So this culture is no more.
咁呢個文化咧已經唔存在。
Although this is how it is supposed to be, but nowadays this culture is non-existent.
咁咧雖然係應該係咁樣嘅，但係咧呢個文化咧已經唔存在啦。
So we can see that when the time to give up the body comes, then the duty is all finished.
咁所以我哋睇到咧，當呢一刻我哋要放棄我哋身體嘅時刻嚟到嘅時候咧，我哋所有責任咧都完啦。
Srila Prabhupada says the wife is protected by the husband.
咁巴巴講過啦，妻子咧係被丈夫所保護。
When they are young girls, they are protected by the father.
咁當佢哋女士年青嘅時候咧，就係由父親所保護。
When they are married, the husband protects them.
咁當佢哋結婚嘅時候咧，丈夫就會保護佢哋嘅妻子。
But when they are older, if they have sons or grandsons or whatever, they will protect them.
咁當佢哋女士年老嘅時候咧，如果佢哋有兒子啦，或者係孫啦，男孫咧就會係由佢哋保護佢。
So generally, this is how the system is, and Draupadi was taken care by her 5 husbands.
一般嚟講，一個制度就係咁樣啦。咁所以咧 Draupadi 咧都係被佢5個丈夫咧所照顧。
But here, anapekshatam, that it's time for them to retire. They did not care anymore.
咁就係當呢個佢哋要退隱嘅時候嚟到嘅時候咧，佢嘅5個丈夫咧已經唔再關心佢。
So you can see Draupadi didn't get angry. She understood now it's time for me to also give up.
咁所以咧喺呢度刻我哋睇到咧 Draupadi 並冇憤怒，佢就明白到咧呢一刻咧都係我咧要放棄一切嘅時候啦。
She understood now my husbands are not in no more duty bound to take care of me.
佢都明白到咧佢嘅丈夫咧喺呢一刻咧已經咧係再冇呢個責任咧去照顧佢。
So therefore, when she understood their duty is finished, she also now, okay, I have to take care of my final duty.
咁所以咧，當 Draupadi 明白到佢丈夫嘅責任已經完成嘅時候咧，佢都知道咧明白，而家咧係輪到我咧去做呢個最後呢一個嘅職責。
So this is the conclusion of Shastra. Why we can only do our duty until certain stage. After that, we should retire. We can't continue that position.
咁所以咧，呢個係經典話俾我哋聽啦。我哋去到某一刻嘅時候咧，我哋咧係必須咧要係去退休嘅，去退隱嘅。我哋唔可以咧無了期咁樣繼續做。
Otherwise, we will be overwhelmed by wanting to enjoy the senses, but the senses are already weak and dull. And we will only suffer trying to enjoy.
如果唔係咧，我哋就會被我哋嘅感官所控制啦。我哋年老，我哋想去享受，但係咧，我哋冇辦法咧係可以做得到。
As you get older, you cannot control your bladder, and you have to wear diapers and so on, and still they want to enjoy.
咁咧，好多人咧年紀大咗，佢哋會有小便失禁啦，佢哋要用尿片啦，但佢仍然咧係想去享受。
So Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janati Ashuvairagam Jnanam Chayad Ahaitukam. So when one worships the Supreme Lord very nicely, automatically knowledge and vairagya detachment will come.
如果我哋係好好咁去崇拜至尊主咧，自動我哋就會得到呢一個知識同埋呢一個嘅氣轉。
And so both husband and wife must help each other to attain liberation.
咁所以咧，丈夫同妻子咧必須一齊咧係互相幫助咧，去達到呢個解脫。
And so with proper training, you can see how Draupadi, she didn't cry, she was fearless also.
咁所以我哋咧要係接受正確嘅訓練啦。我哋喺度睇到咧 Draupadi 佢冇喊，佢亦都冇發嬲，
So she was very prepared.
佢咧已經係完全準備好。
So will we be prepared?
咁我哋準備好未呢？
So we should also ask, am I going to be as prepared as Draupadi?
我哋問下自己，我哋係咪好似 Draupadi 咁樣已經完全準備好呢？
And finally, Srila Prabhupada says that all of them, they attained the kingdom of God with the same body.
咁喺呢度咧，正法巴亦都提到啦，係佢哋所有人咧都係咧係用唔需要更換佢嘅身體，用我哋現今嘅身體咧，已經咧係能夠得到咧神嘅王國。
So we should understand they are all eternal associates of Krishna. They came here to participate in the Leela, and now when their time is off, they are going to go back.
咁我哋要明白咧，佢哋全部咧都係 Krishna 嘅永恆嘅同友啦。佢哋嚟到呢個世界咧，係幫協助 Krishna 咧上演佢嘅逍遙時光。咁當時間到嘅時候咧，佢哋就會離開。
Now, although in the verse Subhadra's name is not mentioned, Srila Prabhupada in the translation he puts a name there, and in the purport he explains that according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, she was also there.
咁咧喺呢個詩詞入邊咧，其實並冇提到 Subhadra 嘅名字嘅，但係咧聖巴巴喺個英文嗰度都係加咗 Subhadra 落去，因為咧係亦都喺要旨嗰度咧亦都講到咧，因為咧 Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur 嘅佢嘅評注入邊咧係有 Subhadra 喺入邊嘅。
Okay, so there's no such thing for them to give up their body and get another body. They are already spiritual.
所以佢哋唔需要咧係放棄佢哋而家嘅身體咧，去轉換另一個身體，因為佢哋嘅身體咧本來已經係靈性嘅。
By the mercy of the Lord and His Yogamaya potency, we cannot tell any difference in their body.
咁通過係 Krishna 嘅仁慈啦，同埋佢嘅 Yogamaya 啦，內在能量嘅仁慈咧，我哋咧係唔會揾到咧佢哋個身體有啲咩嘅分別。
But we can understand from this verse and purport that they were always spiritual and therefore they left with the same body. 咁
我哋喺呢個詩節同埋要旨度明白到咧，其實佢身體咧永遠恆常都係靈性嘅，所以佢哋咧係唔需要更換身體咧就可以翻去靈性世界。
Okay, I'll stop here. Comments, questions, additions.
There's one part, I'm just trying to, it says enjoyment is in the mind. So basically, the mind, like it's sort of like, does that mean like the enjoyment is in the mind? For me, it means like that there's actually no enjoyment. It's just the Maya, like it's just to please the mind. Or I'm not quite sure what it means by enjoyment is in the mind.
I don't know. Where did you read that?
Oh, you said, you actually said it, as we get older and older, there's no way to control my body. And then so I can feel and I can enjoy. Enjoyment is in the mind. So, sorry.
Yeah, you're thinking about enjoying.
Yes.
You can tell what she says.
頭先應該有講過就係話，我哋當我年紀大嘅時候咧，我哋就會仍然想去享受啦。咁我哋嘅心意咧就仍然想去享受。咁個心意點樣去享受咧
Yeah, so generally you may think I'm going to enjoy like this, I'm going to enjoy like that, but then your body is old, you cannot enjoy, so it's only in the mind.
咁嘅意思就係話咧，當我哋年紀越大嘅時候，但我哋仍然咧係有慾望咧，想去享受呢啲，享受嗰啲，但我哋嘅身體咧根本係做唔到嘅。咁所以咧，我哋話咧呢個慾望或者呢個想去享受咧，其實就係定喺我哋嘅心意入邊。
Such enjoyment is in the mind, but you cannot actually experience anymore.
咁但係我哋嘅心意係想去享受，但我哋咧個身體冇辦法再去感受或者去做呢樣嘢。
Right? Yeah, it's just like there is one time one king, I forgot. This is Bilber and Akbar, right? Yeah. So then Akbar comes to Bilber and say, "I've got a son. My wife just gave birth to a son. So wonderful. I'm so happy. What do you think?
咁有個國王叫 Bilber。 咁另外一個人
Bilber.
And the other person is Akbar 去揾 Bilber， 咁咧就同佢講：我而家有個仔啦，你睇下幾開心。
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then he asked me, what do you think? And then Bilbo said, oh, it's just like passing urine. I feel so good.
咁跟住佢就 Milva 就話啦，就你而家有個仔啊，其實就好似去小便咁咯。
And so the king got very angry with Bilbo and he said, throw him in the prison.
咁跟住呢個國王就好嬲啦，就同人講話，將你掉落去即係韞住佢，韞喺監獄入邊。
So he was angry, but then later on, Bilbo said, "I'll show you what I mean." You know.
咁跟住咧 ，Milva 跟住之後咧就同個國王講啦，我話俾你聽點解我咁樣講。
And so one time they were on a boat ride, and so they were going together in the boat. So at one point, the king said, "I have to relieve myself. Can you take me to the shore?" Yeah.
Do you mean pass?
Yeah.
咁跟住咧就係咁佢哋有一次咧就佢兩個就喺隻船上邊啦。咁跟住咧撐個船嘅時候咧，國王就話啦：我想去小便啊，你可唔可以咧幫我洗埋岸邊，等我去洗手間
？So then Bilbo said, "No, wait, we still have to go a little bit more."
咁跟住 Milva 就同呢個國王講：唔得，你等一等啦，我哋仲要行遠少少。
And then the king said, "No, I cannot stand it. I have to, urinate now."
咁跟住個國王就同佢講啦：唔得啦，我好急啊，我而家就要去廁所啦。
And then Bilbo said, "No, I still have to take you to this place and show you something."
咁跟住 Milva 就同個國王講：唔得，我哋咧要去嗰度，我要咧俾啲嘢你睇啊。
And then the king was, "No." Finally, he said, "No, I waited too long. I need to do it now."
咁跟住咧，國王最後就話：唔得，太耐啦，我而家咧必須要去。
Okay, so finally he took him to the shore, and then the king went into the bushes, and then he came up, very relieved.
跟住到最尾咧，呢個國王就即係佢哋就埋咗岸啦，國王就入咗去草叢嗰度啦，就去咗小便啦，跟住出嚟嘅時候就哇非常之舒服啦。
Yeah, so then Bilbo asked him, "How did you feel?"
跟住Bilbo就問呢個國王：你覺得點啊？
And then he said, "I feel so wonderful."
跟住國王就太美妙啦。
So then he said, "That's exactly how I felt."
Have a son.
When you have a son, this is how you feel.
跟住咧 Milva 就同呢個國王講啦：嗱，呢個咧就係當你同我講話你有個仔嘅時候咧，我嘅感覺咧就係我所講嘅就係一樣啦，你嘅感覺就係咁樣啦。
So the king was thinking, this guy is too smart.
跟住國王就覺得呢個人就太聰明啦。
Yeah. So the point is, it's in our experience that the feeling of happiness and so on.
咁其實我哋嘅所謂快樂嘅呢一個嘅感覺咧，只係喺我哋嘅經驗入邊。
And so we remember like that, and when we cannot get it, we feel dejected or unhappy.
咁我哋個經驗，我哋有呢個記憶啦。咁如果我哋得唔到嘅話咧，我哋就會好沮喪，好唔開心。
Okay. Yeah.
頭先話咧，我哋咧如果可以做多啲奉愛服務啊，咁即係譬如你同我哋，即係其實我哋可以取悅到奉獻者，即係你做得越多服務，咁大家都會開心咁取悅咗奉獻者。咁但係而家我哋年紀又大咗啦，咁有啲嘢我哋都係即係無能為力做咁咧，咁我哋取唔到奉獻者點？因為譬如年輕人收集嘅時候梗係容易啲，但係年長咗。
So, Prabhu, you mentioned that we should engage in more devotional service to please the devotee when we get older. But when we get older, we can't do so much devotional service also. So, how to please the devotee?
You start pleasing now.
咁由而家開始去取悅奉獻者。
Don't wait until you get old to please.
咁唔好等到你年老嘅時候先去取悅奉獻者，而家就開始做。
Yeah, when you do it, when you are able, then you find that even when you are older and not able to do many things, the devotees will look at you and they look at you with love only. Yeah.
咁如果你年青嘅時候做好多服務啦，咁但係當你年紀大咗啦，做唔到咧。但係如果你之前係做得好好嘅時候咧，奉獻者咧仍然會仲充滿愛心咁樣嚟到對待你。
So they only see you with love in the eyes also because they know you have been so kind to them and so on. And even if you say Haribol, That is good for them also.
咁因為咧，佢知道你之前係好努力咁樣係去對佢哋啦，好咁對佢哋啦。咁所以就算咧係而家呢一刻啊，可能你淨係同佢講 Harry Ball 咁，但係佢哋鳳姐仍會用充滿愛心嘅眼神咧嚟到係對待你。
Also, when we are older, we are senior, we can also wish them well. We can say, I pray you do very well in your Krishna consciousness. So when they hear all this, their hearts will soften.
咁當我哋年長嘅時候，我哋成為比較高階嘅奉獻者啦，咁我哋可以咧係譬如祝福啲年青嘅奉獻者啦，同佢講啊，我祈禱咧，希望你可以係能夠喺 Krishna 之國修走到得個進步，咁奉獻者亦都會好開心。
Yeah, I wish you the best. I hope you go back to Godhead in this life. I want you to be happy in your Krishna consciousness.
咁我哋可以同佢講，我想你喺你修咒嘅時候係快樂啦，亦都希望，亦都係祈禱咧係你喺呢一生咧就能夠回歸神手。
If you need help, if you need anything, just talk to me. I'm available. Yeah.
如果你需要任何嘢啦，有啲咩幫助咧，我係可以喺度嘅，可以幫你嘅。
So this way, they will feel encouraged and they will be feeling so much affection for you also.
咁如果係咁嘅話咧，佢就會受到鼓舞啦，亦都會咧係會覺得你係好關心佢哋。
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Grantara Śrimad Bhagāvatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Gaura Brahmananda.